scared. I'm just like, what the I'm a mess. I got my sprained ankle.
That's the whole point of this fight. It creates conversation, barbershop conversations, taxi conversations, airplane conversations, and that's what we want. The more people talking about the fight.
The arena swung from roaring chaos to stunned silence in a matter of seconds. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul was framed as a collision of eras, a decorated heavyweight fighting to reassert himself, and a social media-born contender chasing sporting legitimacy. When the final bell rang, the internet erupted, flooding timelines with highlights and hot takes. Hours later, both men finally spoke, measured, raw, and defiant. The night had become bigger than any single name on the scorecard.
I think at the end of the day, I'm a kid with a big heart that wants to change the world, disruptor, and I never took no for an answer, and I'm just chasing my dreams, having fun, and living the American dream, really. It's a testament to hard work, and every single day dedicating yourself to a craft, pushing through when you don't want to be there, and it all pays off in the long run, and believing in yourself, setting goals that people think are impossible. That's really what my story is all about, and that I hope to inspire kids at home.
There's a particular quiet that settles in after a major fight. Not silence, but the pause before chaos reshapes itself. Trainers checked vitals, doctors made their rounds, and both camps disappeared behind closed doors. When the statements finally came, they were stripped of polish, honest, personal. Joshua spoke like a man taking inventory of the night. Missed angles, rounds that slipped away, moments destined for years of analysis. Paul followed with words that mixed bravado and raw candor, touching on the isolation, the noise, and the relentless judgment that trails every controversial bout. Different voices, same message. Respect for the moment, gratitude for the crowd, and a desire to let the fight live as an experience before it's reduced to a single line on a scorecard.
There's a few different skills. He has a very side-on stance, tries to practice the Philly shell, and I think Jake has a chance that is slim to none.
I really appreciate it.
All good?
Thanks, boss.
Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Heavyweight of the world!
Yeah, can you get my back? For the first week of sparring, I had to get comfortable in there and let things slow down and feel the power out and get the confidence to slip, catch, move, let them hit me to the body.
In the build-up to the clash, predictions flooded the sport, and they were sharply divided. Oddsmakers and most analysts installed Anthony Joshua as the clear favorite, a stance echoed across major betting boards and respected outlets. CBS Sports and Sportsline combat analyst Josh Nagel leaned heavily toward Joshua, even listing a TKO or knockout as his top prop, citing Joshua's resume against elite competition and proven finishing power. Yahoo Sports contributors followed a similar line, suggesting an early stoppage was likely, with the referee, experience gap, and sheer occasion favoring the veteran heavyweight. But the consensus wasn't absolute. Boxing's louder voices and several high-profile fighters offered contrarian takes. Tyson Fury, never shy with either words or wagers, publicly suggested Jake Paul could land the kind of punch that flips everything, even claiming he'd bet heavily on Paul in a hypothetical scenario. That confidence from Fury kept the door open to chaos. Dana White, characteristically blunt, delivered an appraisal that mixed skepticism toward crossover boxing with a reluctant respect for Paul's willingness to step into heavyweight danger, a reminder that the sport's gatekeepers were watching closely. Then there were the fighters themselves. Jake Paul, who has spent years insisting he's here to rewrite boxing's rules, publicly predicted victory and claimed Anthony Joshua couldn't knock him out, repeating that confidence on major platforms throughout Fight Week. That tension, analytical certainty on one side, belief in disruption on the other, gave the bout its cinematic edge. When a favorite has data and history behind him, and the underdog has credible believers, every round feels loaded with consequence. After the fight, the pundit class did what it always does. Some walked back predictions, others doubled down. A few admitted they misread the tempo entirely. Amir Khan, among them, framed the bout as a reminder of what stops spectacle: old-school power, discipline, and timing. Across social media, fighters broke down technical moments, crowd swings, and subtle shifts in control. What stood out wasn't spin, but honesty. Many used the fight as a case study in craft, how to prepare for a social media-born fighter with real timing, and how a veteran like Joshua must manage not just physical threats, but narrative ones that can sway momentum, officials, and perception in real time.
Well, it's very tough to say something about Joshua or Jake. I'm waiting for this fight because I'm so excited. But, Jake have a lot of chance to win, and a lot of people think he not, but I believe in Jake. Joshua is the best fighter and have a lot of experience in boxing. He's a heavyweight guy, but Jake improved a lot, and the people need respect both, because it's not everybody have sorry my language, but have a balls for come inside the ring and fight.
From the opening bell, the tone was immediate and kinetic. Early flurries hinted that Paul's awkward, aggressive angles could find openings. Other stretches looked like textbook heavyweight boxing. Joshua controlling range with the jab, setting up heavy power shots. Moments that seemed routine on replay felt seismic in real time. A short uppercut that made the crowd inhale. A brief stumble that shifted the balance of an entire round. In the aftermath, both fighters spoke with respect about those key exchanges. Joshua's camp pointed to effective jabs and well-timed power combinations. Paul's team highlighted gritty infighting and a level of ring confidence that defied his unconventional path into boxing spotlight. Both sides focused on what the fight demanded from each man: new respect, new doubts, and a gallery of lingering what-ifs. If the ring was where the fight happened, social media was where it lived forever. A single exchange became the night's shared language, replayed millions of times. Pundits, celebrities, and casual fans dissected technique frame by frame, while memes turned fleeting expressions into endless debate. Both fighters leaned into that reality, releasing raw clips from locker rooms and medical checks that pulled fans inside the moment. The effect was both humanizing and commercial, blurring authenticity and spectacle. Trainers from each corner spoke like surgeons. Joshua's team cited missed range control and the need to maintain a tighter guard against unconventional angles. Paul's camp praised conditioning and heart, while admitting tactical gaps against Joshua's shot selection. Neither side grandstood. The language was clinical. Why a round tilted, how tempo stressed a game plan, and what needed correction. Their comments sounded less like excuses and more like homework, lessons to carry into the next chapter.
Sometimes when we see those big discrepancies in skill, sometimes the better fighter carries the other fighter, or maybe goes a little easier. Is there any part of you that maybe thinks that way, or are you going in there 100%?
Zero part of me. And there's not even that, it's Jake. It's just, do you know, I was actually looking at myself today. I'm a very respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how I am. And this is just the job I do, so...
This fight moved serious commercial needles. Betting markets shifted during the bout and throughout the post-fight weekend. Pay-per-view numbers were dissected, while promoters quietly began circling potential rematches. Outlets like CBS and major betting analysts updated prop bets and adjusted lines in real time. A reminder that modern boxing lives at the intersection of sport and data-driven entertainment. Executives and broadcasters will be tracking rewatch numbers and subscription spikes for weeks. A night like this is currency. It funds future cards, converts casual viewers, and can reshape a fighter's market value overnight. If analysts argued technique, fans argued meaning. Social feeds filled with confessions and renewed allegiances. Longtime boxing fans complained about spectacle, while younger audiences embraced the collision of content and craft. Even neutral viewers admitted they'd been pulled into the drama. The common thread was clear. This was a moment people wanted to be part of. Both fighters acknowledged that support in separate statements, recognizing that win or lose, the event only exists because fans showed up and paid attention. Almost immediately, talk of a rematch began and never fully faded. For promoters, the logic is simple. Controversy sells, and unanswered questions fuel demand. Publicly, both camps stayed non-committal, a familiar negotiating posture that keeps leverage intact while the market tests its appetite. Behind the scenes, health took priority. Both teams emphasized monitoring and precautionary checks, reframing the conversation away from hype and toward recovery. It was a necessary reminder that beneath the narratives and numbers, long-term well-being matters most. Fights like this recalibrate careers. For Joshua, it becomes another chapter in a story defined by championships, setbacks, and reinvention. For Paul, it's a high-stakes referendum on a career built on attention and increasingly legitimate results. Both men spoke about legacy, one as a long arc, the other as immediate work. In the end, they agreed on one truth. Legacy is built on response. How they move forward, in training, in public, and back in the ring, may matter more than any single result.
Regardless of what it is that they're talking about, is a massive bonus. So for me, I'm not worried about what people think about the integrity side. I'm more worried about, are they talking? And as long as they are, I think we're doing a good job.
This was a calculated human decision and a fight that won't fade quickly. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul will be dissected in gyms, debated by pundits, and replayed for years. In their first statements, both fighters focused on what the bout demanded and what it gave back: lessons, respect, and momentum for what comes next. Whether that future is a rematch or a new path entirely, both men will be judged less by one result and more by their response. Now the question turns to you. How did you see the outcome? And who should Jake Paul fight next to prove his legitimacy?